All right, next is Alex Hammond from Australia. What's up, Alex? He says, hey, Paul, your show is really good now with the addition of the few of the new guys contributing and rounding it out really well. Thank you for that. Credit to the guys, Lefty, Chad, Chase. I mean, got to give credit to like Borusky, Shoes, Steeler 714, Evan Bell. You know, we got a lot of great stuff happening in the comments these days. Craig's Cards 11. A lot of great contributors to the show. Just brought on Connor and Sonia. It's going to get even better, Alex. It's going to get even better. Wish I could have gotten to the USA for the National maybe next year. The harder part being in Australia is the shallower pool. It's easy enough to buy cards in the USA and have them shipped to my USA mailing address. However, when selling cards, unless they are high-end, the shipping costs of sending single cards to USA buyers often means they don't purchase from Australia. Perhaps a discussion on consigning cards would be interesting if you have enough international listeners. Personally, I have used COMC with okay success, but the fees do make it more expensive. And also, if it is not selling on COMC, you only have the choice of auction versus eBay. Auction with eBay versus listing at a high price, high buy it now price and sitting on it. I also know Aussies who use DC Sports 87, the same type of model. Any thoughts would be appreciated. Love this conversation, Alex. I can definitely add some value here. I used to live in Spain for 5 years. You may already know that. And when I was in Spain, my second or third year in Spain is when I really started wanting to flip cards. And I found PWCC, and it was a little bit early on. It was when PWCC was still able to consign on eBay as part of your vault service. And they were building their own marketplace so you could consign it there as well. But their primary service was vault. And as I understand PWCC, it's still their primary service. I know since then, Collectors has a vault, eBay has a vault, of course. They've been a show sponsor with their vault, and they all do great. They all have like pros and cons. Like Collectors Pro is that like if you have a card graded at PSA, you can like leave it in the Collectors vault with less fees and not pay for all that stuff, and that's fine. And then I know COMC and some of the other services, like Ship My Cards is another service. What I would do though is like the thing I like about PWCC versus all of these other vault services, for example, for your situation, Alex, and mine, which was in Spain, is that while there are fees, the fees are comparable to what you would find everywhere else, and there are no restrictions. So what I mean by that is like eBay and Collectors, for example, have restrictions on like where you can sell, like where you can ship your cards for a particular reason, or how many days you have to keep it in a vault before you can ship it. eBay, is my understanding, maybe we could have somebody from eBay clarify this, but my understanding is that eBay still has some restrictions on what cards they will vault. So the thing with PWCC that I like is that there are some restrictions on what you can and can't sell on their marketplace, but there are no restrictions on what they will intake and vault for you and prep for vaulting. They also will submit to any grading company for you and then receive the grading submission back, take it out of the grading box, and then take new pictures of your graded cards and vault them for you. So I ran my card business, my card flipping business, using PWCC to be my primary address, receiving any cards I bought, and then shipping any cards I sold. And then there's always good photos of it and videos of the card. They assign a value to the card so you can like see how much value you have in your vault. And then also, again, while there are fees, there are no restrictions on selling and then shipping off of PWCC. So if you want to sell on eBay, you just take a picture of your card, list it on eBay, and then when you sell it, you just have PWCC ship it to whoever bought it. So you could, to me, this is like the barrier-free way to run a business from anywhere, is to use PWCC. Now, when making plays, though, what you have to end up doing is like, for example, on nooffseason.com and the Sports Card Strategy Show, we talk a lot about like buying 20 Spencer Jones base chrome firsts and then sending those 20 to PSA for grading. And then we do the math around that. And so you're just going to have to build in the PWCC per card intake fees and then build in like, okay, now what does PWCC charge me to ship them to PSA? And then what does PSA charge to ship them back to PWCC? And then PWCC is going to charge another intake fee on the graded cards, which is going to be less than a raw card, but it's still like $2 or something. And so you're going to have to build in all those fees. So what it's going to mean for you, Alex, if you do what I did, is you're probably just going to have to invest in slightly higher dollar cards to make it worth it. So for example, instead of buying a lot of 20 Jackson Churio base chrome firsts, you're going to buy one Jackson Churio refractor auto and have that graded. And then that way you're only paying one intake fee on a bigger card and then one intake fee when that card gets back from grading, but then you're going to have it and then you're going to still be able to flip it. So I think you're not going to be able to make as many plays like in bulk. Like for example, a good example is like Lefty and I each of us bought 20 card Tops Now Victor Wembanyama of like the two Tops Now Victor Wembanyama's that came out. One where he was throwing out the first pitch from the Yankees at the Yankees game before the draft, NBA draft. And then another one when he was like selected first overall. So I have 40 Victor Wembanyama base Tops Now cards. It made sense for me living in the US to buy those, get those from Tops, immediately submit them to PSA. And then when I get them back, I can sell them because I'm not paying any service to intake the cards and store them for me, take photos of them, and then have them graded, submit them for grading. And then when they come back from grading, intake them. That kind of play would not make sense for you because you would get hit with 40 separate charges to intake them twice. Once to receive them as raw cards from Tops, and then another to receive them back from PSA. So like your profit mark, you might break even if you get all 10s on a base card like that. But it would have made sense for you to buy the Victor Wembanyama auto that came through the Dutch auction for like $2,000. Send that, have PWCC intake that, and then you could have either sold it on PWCC's marketplace later, or you could have sent it to PSA for grading, had it shipped back to your PWCC vault. And if you got a 10 on that, now you can list it wherever you want online, including PWCC's marketplace if you want, and then have PWCC ship it wherever you want. So long-winded answer, but it's a subject that's very near and dear to my heart because I was like yearning to get back to the United States for a lot of reasons related to not having to pay these fees and be able to make more plays, not be limited to just kind of the higher dollar cards. Hopefully that helps, Alex. But anyway, good work, man. Keep the questions coming in to us. Click the button on the website to get unlimited personalized advice and then fill out that form and we'll get you a good answer every week.